This week, I fly on a route that's served twice a day by two airlines with almost no passengers, as I take a ride on Australia's shortest international flight.
Well, good morning from Dili in East Timor. I've got another few hours here, and then we're heading off to the airport to take another flight today. I thought I'd come for a little bit of a wander around the town. We've got these beaches here. Yeah, not the nicest. I imagine it could be a beautiful beach, but it's just all the trash everywhere. It's crazy. I imagine this could be an absolutely beautiful beach. We've got the beautiful rainforests and mountains over there. There's the islands of Indonesia there. It's just an absolutely incredible place. It's just such a shame that there's just trash everywhere.
It was soon time to head to the airport, and the hotel flagged me down a taxi that took me on the short drive across to Dili International Airport. The airport's about a 15 to 20 minute drive from downtown Dili. There's a main road that heads out there, and pretty soon we were pulling up outside the airport for my flight out of East Timor.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good day. Thank you. Come here.
Dili's airport's called President Nicolau Lobato International, and it can be best described as, well, a little bit rustic. Once you've gone through a security point to check in, you have to fill in your departure card and head to the check-in desk, which was having a few technical issues today. Thankfully, an expert was called in, and the high-tech airport's IT systems were fixed with a complicated solution.
Hello IT, have you tried turning it off and on again?
With the IT issues resolved, I was able to check in and head to customs and security, which thankfully is only a short walk here.
Hello. Thank you.
Once you get through to the departure lounge, it's slightly more modern, although there isn't anything here other than a load of chairs to sit and wait.
So as much as I would highly recommend getting to this airport really early, because the queues are just insane. The downside is there's not a lot to do here. There's no little coffee shops or anything to sit in. It was literally like a bus station waiting for the flight. It only has like 2, maybe 3 flights a day. Aero Dili's flight in from Denpasar. There's a CityLink flight a few times a week as well, also to Denpasar, and then there's another flight which I'm taking today with Qantas down to Darwin in Australia. It's about an hour's flight away from here, very close. Like, we're literally closer to Australia now than we are to Denpasar. So looking forward to getting on the plane. We've got about another 2.5 hours waiting until the plane goes, but shouldn't take too long, I guess, then to get down to Darwin.
Eventually my ride arrived, this Embraer 190 operated by Qantaslink. Dili is the only international destination served by Qantaslink, so this is the only place outside of Australia that you'll get to see this plane. It was soon time to get on board.
Thank you.
It's a bit of a walk to get out to the ramp here, but you do get to walk through this nice little garden on the way out and see all the planes up close, of course. Qantaslink's E190s are operated by Alliance Airlines.
How you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah, you like the name.
Darwin, amazing. 11 on the right on the window for me. You're welcome.
They've got 9 business class seats in a 2-1 configuration and 88 economy class in a 2-2 configuration, which are all pretty comfy, especially for a short flight like this. I was sitting in the exit row today, which gave me a little bit more leg room.
Alright, then on board the Qantas Embraer 190 for the about an hour long flight down to Darwin in Australia. I've got the exit row on this flight. Look at my leg room, yay! And there's my view out of the window, the Embraer 190 wing. Looking forward to getting to Australia because I've got a lot to do when I get down there, and some really cool stuff coming up, so I can't wait to get on the ground down there. So yeah, let's get out of East Timor and head down to Oz.
Pretty soon the engines were started on the stand, and we started our taxi out to the runway here at Dili to get out of East Timor. route today then took us on a southeasterly track from Dili, crossing the Timor Sea and descending into Darwin, Australia. Flight time today was 1 hour and 13 minutes, cruising at 35,000 feet.
So then airborne from Dili in East Timor on board Qantas's and indeed Australia's shortest international flight. This flight is only an hour long, just over an hour actually, between Dili and Darwin. It actually only started during COVID, this route, because Qantas were contracted to provide an essential air service between Darwin and Dili to obviously provide supplies in and get people in and out of the country and things like that. But since COVID, the government funding stopped and Qantas dropped it down from a 737 to an Embraer 190. And they've been serving it ever since. Also, interesting tidbit, this is the only international route that Qantas's Embraer 190s fly. Every single other flight that they do is domestic within Australia. So quite a few unique things about this route. It's just 450 miles from here in East Timor down to Darwin. Very, very short flight. I'm interested to see what service they'll be on board. I'm guessing just a cup of coffee or something, just the same as their short domestic flights that Qantas do. But we'll figure it out anyway as we make our way across the Timor Sea to Darwin, Australia, mate.
Soon after takeoff, the crew came round with lunch.
Alright, so that answers my question. We get a little snack pack on board and drinks as well, and water. Although, interestingly, she called this a can of water. Do they call them cans in Australia? It's a bottle. I don't know. Anyway, let's have a look. I mean, it's not a great deal in it, I have to say. We get a little cake, crackers and some nuts. But you know what? It's an hour-long flight. I don't need gourmet cuisine for an hour-long flight. I can save that until I get to Darwin and I can have a steak. Or kangaroo meat or alligator or whatever they eat in Darwin. Look, and they've just come around handing out possibly my favourite ever chocolates. Lindors. I do like a nice Lindor. Oh my goodness. How good is non-American chocolate?
It's time for the Noel Phillips Lou Review.
Alright, so what sort of loo do you get on a 1 hour international flight into Australia? Well, I have to be honest, it's not Emirates A380 first class styles of loo, or even Qatar Airways, but it's perfectly adequate for a 1 hour flight. The Embraer's got this one bathroom at the back that economy use, and I think there's one at the front of the business class as well. This one I think is slightly bigger. We've got a sink there, nice little mirror there, and then obviously toilet roll and everything, usual things, a toilet of course, always a nice addition to a lavatory, but there we go, that is the Australia's shortest international flight loo review. I've got to come up with a better catchy title for that, haven't I, really?
That was the Noel Phillips Lou Review.
As we cruise across the Timor Sea towards Australia, I spotted this little dude hitching a ride into Australia. I just hope he'd remember to declare any bananas he might be carrying before we arrived.
You know, one thing that I'm still learning now, and I still haven't got really, at the age of 43, is the knowledge that what goes on in here, in your brain, in this boiled egg of mine, isn't necessarily the truth and what's happening. My brain plays tricks on me all the time, tells me things like I'm not good enough. I can get a negative message on social media, for instance, and then believe them and think that their opinion is correct. And it can be pretty tough to deal with. And that's why I'm grateful to this week's video sponsor, BetterHelp. See, BetterHelp have a network of over 20,000 licensed therapists who you can talk to, and they'll help you talk about all the different issues that you might have going on in your life and try and get you in a better place. Signing up for BetterHelp is really easy too. You just go on the website, answer a few questions, and then pretty soon you're matched with a licensed therapist who you can talk to through video calls and even live chats. If at any point you find out it's not working with that therapist as well, you can just change to another one. There is no obligation to stick with one. It's really straightforward, and no hard feelings either. Right now, BetterHelp are giving you 10% off your first month when you sign up at betterhelp.com/Noel. That's betterhelp.com/NOEL. So aside from Qantas, the only other airline that operates this route is the Australian regional airline called Air North. They send embryo 120s on the route from Darwin as well. But something tells me that I'm not entirely sure if this is all a little bit overkill, because look, we've got like 20 passengers or something on this flight today. There's not that many. Very quiet flight. Unless it gets busier certain days of the week, I'm not sure. But add on to the fact that the East Timor airline Dili are actually starting to talk about flying their A320 on the route as well to Darwin, which seems like even that alone would be massive overkill, let alone when you've got flights with Qantas and Air North as well. It doesn't seem to be the most popular route, and in fact East Timor is one of the least visited countries in the world. They get an average of just 10 visitors from outside of East Timor every single day. 10. That's it, in the whole country. So whether they can make a go of this or not, or whether there's enough people going from East Timor to Australia to make a go of it or not, I'm not entirely sure, but it'll be interesting to find out. And only time will tell, really.
And that's the problem really, because East Timor's tourism market is pretty much non-existent. Most people travelling there from Australia are just there for the oil and gas. Personally, I'd love to see East Timor's tourism market take off a little bit more, meaning more flights there, maybe even to deeper points in Australia. This is something that Dili can hopefully achieve, and it would be great to see them expand their fleet into more destinations across Australia, bringing many more people into what could be, with a little more work, an amazing tourism hotspot. But it wasn't too long before my little East Timor side quest was over, as we touched down on a rainy, blustery day into Darwin.
Welcome to Darwin. Qantaslink would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the Air Force land, the Larrakia people.
I would like to say thank you to all of my patrons who get access to my amazing WhatsApp community, monthly Zoom calls and exclusive merch. Join them at the link on the screen now. My flight to Darwin cost me $205 US, or about 162 quid, working out at 45 cents per mile. I do have to say, it felt really strange stepping off an international flight into Australia after just an hour's flight. The airport wasn't too busy, but because of this, passport control was really intense. Everyone was asked a ton of questions about their visit, and it certainly wasn't as quick and seamless as going through the crowds in Sydney or Melbourne.
Welcome to Darwin in Australia. I have to say, it feels so weird arriving into Australia after a 1 hour flight. How crazy is that? Anyway, let's go and see if we can get our Uber to the hotel. Interestingly, when I went through the passport machines, it wouldn't let me through because it asked me if I'd been in Indonesia in the last 7 days, and I said, yeah, I have, because I've just arrived yesterday from Denpasar, obviously, with Dili, and that triggered the machines not to work. I had to go to a lady, and she kind of wrote something on there, and then I had to go to a separate man who just let me straight through. So I don't know what's going on there and what the relevance of Indonesia is, but hey, I think my Uber is nearly here, and it's a white Camry, so let's go and get in a Camry. Yay! Hello. How you doing? Oh, thank you. Oh, what's happened to the weather? I thought it was summer. I've just come from Dili in East Timor, yeah.
Okay. But it's been raining here for 15 days now.
15 days, wow. Crikey.
You should come dry season.
So I'm guessing this isn't the right season. So when is it dry here?
Dry season starts on 7th week of April.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So as you go into the autumn.
Yes. And there is no rain. Plus,
Wow, interesting.
the weather is nicer.
Nice.
Lots of events happening here.
Okay, yeah.
As we pulled up outside my hotel, it felt more like a rainy evening in Manchester than a summer's day here in Australia.
Alright, welcome to Darwin, Northern Territories of Australia. This is my room. Oh, that's quite nice, isn't it? They've upgraded my room. Apparently I've got a harbour view room. I don't know what the harbour looks like here in Darwin. Let's go and have a look. Let's have a look. Oh, they've got some tim tams, pam tim tam things, whatever they're called. And then let's have a look at my view. Oh, there we go. There is Darwin Harbour, mate. Full of alligators and crocodiles. Bonza, mate. I might go and stick a shrimp on the barbie later on as well. My terrible accent. That's my room anyway. We've got mini bar, but it's empty. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's empty. Why did they do that? Since COVID, every single hotel removed their mini bars, and I think I've been in one hotel since COVID that's had an actual stocked mini bar. Shocking. And then the loo. Oh, this is a nice loo to review. We've got the toilet, we've got the sink, we've got a nice shower area there. Very, very nice. Anyway, that was Australia's shortest international flight. Crazy to think that after a 1 hour flight you can be in Australia, like from anywhere in the world. Every time I've ever been to Australia, it's had a minimum of a sort of, well, at least a 7 or 8 hour flight, isn't it? Depending on where you're coming from. And even from New Zealand, it's like 3 or 4 hours. So to do a 1 hour flight internationally into Australia is pretty cool. And yeah, tomorrow I carry on to further distances afar in my adventure across Australia. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. And yeah, you'll see where I end up to on my next video. But in the meantime, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be kind to one another, take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.